So I'm test riding the Tracer 900. It's a good experience so far. It's powerful. The seating position is awesome. That's like the one thing you know when you're getting on the Tracer 900 is that the seating position is good. Let's see what it can do here. Oh shit. Yeah, I think if I was to buy this bike, I'll probably just keep it in B mode forever. Because power is a little... I'm not gonna say scary, it's not scary. But there's a lot of power here. A lot of power. Let's try standard mode. Oh, there you can feel the difference. It sort of just shortens the amount you have to turn the throttle. You get more response out of less movements. I'm gonna put it back in B mode just to get a reference. Yeah, I'd say the power is still there, but the way that delivers the power is just more linear. So you actually need to turn the throttle a lot just to get the same amount of power, which is cool. That's basically what I would prefer the bike to do. Let's start with the front. Tires, I have no idea. I'm not a good enough rider to notice if I have a bad or good tires, but maneuverability, it moves very well. It's easy to turn at slow speeds. I will try to get back on the freeway and test the maneuverability there, but it feels like it would be good. Some jerkiness, of course. There are minimum amount. Put the traction control in, or you can do it while accelerating. No, you can't turn off the traction control while accelerating or moving. Suspension, I have no idea. It feels pretty good. Soft, very soft, but this is not a track bike, so I wouldn't expect that to be a problem. It does seem like you can adjust the front forks and rear suspension. I'm definitely not used to this type of bike, so excuse me if I'm not a great rider. Everything seems to be pretty well placed. The pegs they're a little bit in the way, but not the amount that I would say it's a problem. You notice that they're there when you walk the bike, but I mean, how often are you walking the bike? Shit, there's a lot of power here. Woo. This is way more than my CBR 600, that's for sure. Whoa. And the wind, it's not a problem at all. I mean, I could probably change this to get it a little bit better, but I don't mind at all. So you can see how it turns. I can feel it struggling a little. It resists a little bit in the corners. You sort of have to adjust a little bit, keep the pressure on, but not anything that's remotely obstructive. I mean, or tiring. It's basic stuff. Yeah, I mean wind wise this is perfect. It moves easily. Like I said, it's a little bit resistant to do cornerings hard. It looks great, it feels great. The seat is pinching me a tiny bit at the thighs. I don't know if it's too wide or if I'm sitting at it only wrong, or if maybe just, yeah, this is so much better to ride than my 600 in every way. The one real bad thing about this is the stand. I'm having huge problems getting it down. It's placed sort of, you really have to work on that. Make sure it stands okay. Yep. It has a center stand. Huge fan of that. So the rear, yeah, this looks ugly, but this light, it's okay. It sort of fits the bike. So I guess that's okay. Colors, they're pretty much awesome. I would probably prefer not to have the blue wheels. They look a bit purple. I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's a demo bike that's for sale, so I can actually get this pretty cheap. I don't know the specs of it because this wasn't supposed to be a test ride. I was only supposed to go over there to talk about other stuff. So I'll just link the information on top or on the side or somewhere on the video about the horsepower, torque, tank mileage, etc. Yeah, that stand is a little annoying because it comes up like here, and this thing is blocking your getting on is easy. At least it's easy for me. I'm just flat footing it. I mean, if it was like a 2 millimeter higher, I couldn't flat foot it up exactly at my heels. If you tippy toe it, you have all the control you really need. I just realized something. The one thing I was supposed to test, which is like one of the reasons I stepped off. I want to check how hot this thing gets. Oh, this doesn't get hot at all. This is pretty cool actually. Okay, because if I have my leg on this and this gets like 100 degrees, that's an issue. But it didn't actually feel like it got hot. I mean, it was a little bit hotter than the air temperature, but I don't expect it to be cold. Yeah. I mean, stock, that's a pretty good sound. I wish I was one of those people who had a lot of things to say about stuff, but I mean, I can't really test it like really hard. There's some, if you go like slowly up, you can feel vibrations from like 4,000 to 5,000. After that though, there's basically no, like I'm under 4 now and I can't feel any vibration unless I like really feel. I can of course feel something, but nothing that I would consider worth mentioning. What else? Yeah, like the seating position is like basically straight. You're really sitting with your back straight up, and yeah, there's really nothing you can complain about from that part. So I mean, if you're getting this specific bike, then you know that before you start, hopefully. Let's test the acceleration a bit. Oh crap. I mean, damn. Now that I have this all the way up, I barely notice the wind. Actually, when I get up into like 100, it's actually worse. It's actually better to have it down when you get up like to 100. But that's probably because of my height. I'm 6'1", or 186 centimeters if you go by centimeters. Wow, the speed of this thing. Oh, this is a bike I would love to test out on a track just to feel the turnability, because I don't have the option of testing how well this bike turns and moves. But I mean, even at like 80 kilometers, so you need to put in a little bit of a counter steering move, but you can almost move it with your body. You can. Basically, small maneuvers, you can just lean your hips and it'll do the job. Oh, this seat is actually pretty loose. I don't know if that's intended to be loose. Maybe that's to give you the because it doesn't feel like it's gonna fall off. It just feels like it sort of tilts both ways. That could be an intentional thing. I'm gonna have to ask about that. Yeah, so power-wise, you'll never need more power. I can't say you will never want more power, because people just want more power. That's basically why I'm changing. One of the reasons why I'm changing bikes, because the power isn't there at low RPMs, and I ride a lot at low RPMs. So, wow. Yeah, I am impressed with this bike. I really am. It's considering the opposite, what its competitors are doing, and considering the price, I'll be hard fought to find you a better choice. I mean, this looks, on paper and while riding it, it looks like a great choice if you're doing touring, if you're doing commuting, if you want a bike that can do sort of a little bit of everything. I've seen people take it to the track, so I know it's usable on the track. If you put your heel on the peg, your knees are like almost in a 90-degree bend. If you like if you just put your heels on the bike, I mean, the position gets even better. Wow, that was really cool. I'm happy I just happened to try that. That's not something I actually do normally. and it leans pretty well. Flickability is pretty damn good. I mean, you could move this thing through like obstacle courses, and I don't think you'll have like a huge issue in any way. And of course, the main fun with the bike is the acceleration. I mean, this thing accelerates like nobody's business. Rear brakes, yeah, there's not a lot there, but I mean, the rear brakes rarely have a huge bite. So even though they're stock, and you really have to, there's not a lot of there's really nothing happening at the beginning. You really have to, there's some play. That's weird. Let's just check it on cruising. 6th gear, 2,500 RPMs, and full gas. Let's just, I mean, you can feel it struggles a bit. It's a little bit like, I don't know the word for it. It feels like it's struggling a bit, but the power is there. It manages. It gets you, I mean, it gets you up there. I wouldn't, like, if you were gonna do some passing, I would probably gear down, but for general just cruising, and you end up at like say this was a 100 zone, I could easily get to a 100 without changing gears pretty fast. I mean, it's like that's in standard mode. Oh, let's try A mode one more time, because I'm gonna go back now. So from 3000, 6th gear, A mode, full gas. Feels pretty much the same. It's just a little more sensitive to acceleration. So you need to be a little bit more careful with the throttle. Other than that, it's basically the same thing. I mean, I'm gonna try the B mode one more time. I mean, I like B mode, I really do. The B mode is very friendly. You can like twist the throttle a lot more before it actually reacts. Once again, try this. If I like find the perfect spot, I'm pretty sure that screen will be perfect. The thing is, I can't really find anything specific that I really don't like. It's basically pretty it's pretty friendly. Yeah, acceleration from low speeds, that's smooth and beautiful. Front brakes, let's test them out here. They're very good. Oh man, this is a good bike. I could ride forever on this bike. I mean, I've been riding for 45 minutes. Well, no, 55 minutes. And I'm not feeling it anywhere. I'm not tired in my arms, I'm not tired in the legs. My back is perfectly fine. There is basically nothing to complain about. I can to some degree feel that the acceleration is a little bit on and off. It can be a little bit jerky. The engine is sort of very off. The engine brake really kicks in really fast. Yeah, very, very good bike. I haven't tried a lot of other bikes, and this is I think this is the second bike that with a huge front screen, so even just having a screen is almost new to me. But yeah, it really hits the spot.